For the first part of this video, I'm going to show you how to use the totally free Inkscape along with Canvas Workspace to turn a PNG into a cuttable vector image. First off, you want to open your PNG. Next, select the path option at the top and select Trace Bitmap. We're going to use a single scan, and feel free to mess around with these settings. Click Update to update the preview, and click Apply when you're happy with the preview. If nothing's happening when you click Apply and Update, then remember to click on your PNG in the frame so that it's selected. If it's not selected, then it won't change anything. Smoothing corners can be useful for some things, but then devastating on other logos, so it's worth having a play and see what you can get away with. You can always delete it and start again. Once you've done it, delete the background image, and then simply save this as an SVG file. Open up Canvas Workspace and click Import from Computer. Then you want to find your SVG file that you've just saved. Click Open, and there you go. You have a scalable vector image that you're able to put in your ScanNCut. This means it won't lose quality as you increase the size of it, so you can make the size of it whatever you like. There's loads of options on ScanNCut for cutting options and what have you. But you can also change these on the machine, so feel free to save this. Then export it. If your machine is connected to your Canvas Workspace account, then use the middle option. If not, you can transfer via a cable. You'll have to plug your laptop directly into your ScanNCut machine for that. Since ours is connected to our Canvas Workspace account, we can just click the middle option. If you're like me and you'd rather create your SVG from scratch, then you're going to have trouble importing it with text. As you can see, it doesn't import properly, none of the text shows up, and it only imports the image of the UK, which is not what we want. In that case, you're going to have to rasterize your text. So if you go into Inkscape again and click on your text, which is editable, then click Path and then Object to Path. Do that for all the text in your image so that it turns it into a non-text element. Save it again as an SVG, and then you should have no trouble putting it into your Canvas Workspace. Do get a warning that it was too large, but that doesn't matter, it's just scaled down to the size of the frame now, which is fine. So I'm going to retrieve the data that I've just sent from Canvas Workspace. To do that, you just press this button here that says Retrieve Data. Then you want to press the little cloud icon at the top right. And there we go. The data has been retrieved. It's ready to cut. Now we're going to want to scan the frame. To do that, you press this button here, and then you're going to need to load the mat. It will tell you this on the screen. If you haven't loaded the mat, you won't be able to do it. As you can see, our mat is now loading. And now you're able to press the start button. The machine will now scan the frame in order to get a background image. This is useful for placing designs onto your fabric. As you can see here with our scan, it is a little bit artifacted, and that is because we've actually got very bright studio lights pointing at the machine, and it's actually messing with the sensor. When you use yours at home, it should look perfect. We're just going to reposition our logo now in order to get it exactly how we want, and resize it as well. Now that's all done, we can hit OK, and then OK a second time. We're going to now select cut, obviously, because we want to cut. Now we're going to hit start to start the cut. We have a time lapse of this. Obviously, in a real scenario, you're not going to want to cut on calico. It frays very easily. You're just not going to get very good results, basically. We just did it because that's what we had lying around at the time in terms of fabric, so it'll be fine for the purposes of this video. There we go, we can unload the mat, and now Sue will show you the result. The actual cuttings aren't going to be of any use because the text was so small and calico frays so easily, the actual cutouts weren't going to be of any use. But as you can see by the negative that's left, it did cut exactly what we wanted it to. That's exactly what we sent from Canvas Workspace. So now we're going to use some heat transfer vinyl to put a design onto a t-shirt. It's pretty easy to do. You can get heat transfer vinyl almost anywhere, but there is a few different techniques that you have to use when using heat transfer vinyl. So we're going to go through those now. For this design, we're going to use one of the built-in Disney patterns, because this new ScanNCut does come with some Disney designs, which are for personal use. You're not supposed to sell them or anything like that. So select our Disney category here. And then we know it's on the second page. Because we're using a deep red vinyl, we're going to do Sebastian on ours. It just seems fitting, so I'm just going to increase the size of it here. Then we're going to add that. Just going to increase the size of it a little bit more, because we do have a fair amount of vinyl to play with. 7 inches should be about right. Right, when you're using heat transfer vinyl, you're going to want to hit this button here in order to mirror your design. If it's more important if you're using things like text, because if you don't, once you apply the heat vinyl, it will be backwards. Your text will be unreadable. It'll be the complete wrong way round. So you need to mirror it beforehand, which you can do right here on the machine. Then hit OK. Then OK again. And then we'll just show you how to scan the canvas quickly. It's more important if you're using sort of patterned materials, or if you're trying to be very conservative about the amount of material you use. You just hit this button here. Once your mat is loaded, you hit start, and then it will scan the mat for you. Our scan may look a bit different to yours. It may come out a bit odd looking, but that's only because we've got bright studio lights on our machine, and it can mess with the sensor. So it's pointing almost directly inside the machine. So we hit OK. And now we're ready to cut. So we select cut here. Then we want to adjust the settings, because heat transfer vinyl, it comes in 2 layers. There's the vinyl, and then on top of that there's the clear transfer sheet, and obviously you don't want to cut that. So we're going to hit the spanner here, and then on the second page of options you're going to have half cut. go ahead and turn that on, which means it will only cut halfway through, which will be just the vinyl layer and not the transfer layer. As well as that, you're going to want the weeding box, which is going to basically cut a big square box around whatever it is you're cutting, so that you don't have to mess around with removing the whole vinyl sheet just to remove the little design that you've made. Okay. Right, so by default we've got the cut pressure on auto, which is fine in most cases because the machine will try and detect the half cut depth, but in some cases it can cut more or less than what you want it to cut, and in that case you need to run a test. We'll run a test now just to show you how to do it, but we know that ours is going to work fine on auto. So you hit test and it will create a little triangle in the bottom right. That's normally fine where it is, but if you obviously don't have too much material, you can hit the little movement button and move it around to a better position. But for us, I mean, the bottom right is totally fine because we've got vinyl that covers the entire mat. So we're going to hit OK on that and then just hit start. Now what it's going to do is it's going to cut that little triangle, and then you can obviously test it and try and peel it out and see if you're getting the right cutting depth. If it cuts through the transparent backing layer, then you know that it's too much, and if it doesn't cut through the first layer at all, then you know that it's not cutting enough, so you can adjust your pressure accordingly. Right, now that our test's done and we've made sure that it's fine, we're ready to hit start. Now it's going to do the actual cut, and yeah, I'll see you when that's done.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Right, so that's all done now. So now we can go ahead and peel it off. I'm going to peel off the whole outside just so I can sort of illustrate what the weeding box is doing.
I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems.
So as you can see, the weeding box has left a sort of like outline just around your design. Usually you wouldn't peel off the outside, you'd peel off the weeding box, but just to illustrate it to you in the video, we thought it'd be easier to illustrate it like this. And then you just simply peel off the weeding box.
Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow. I think I'll chew it.
So we're going to be using this batter seller iron. It's a really nice iron. So now we're going to heat press it onto a shirt. We're just going to do it with a regular iron. I mean, you can buy a heat press off of Amazon for about £120 or something like that, which is sort of your more commercial option, because then you get the right pressure and the right temperature. But just to show you, well, A, we don't have a heat press right now, and B, just to show you that it's possible with an iron, we're just going to show you how to do that. So you place your design on the shirt, just place some fabric over the top so that your iron doesn't stick to the plastic, and then apply a bit of pressure and just slowly heat the transfer. It is easier with this type of iron, especially because it's quite a heavy iron, quite industrial style iron, so it already has a bit of weight to it. So with your classic home iron, you may struggle a bit more, but I think it's definitely doable. That should be sufficiently cooled now to be peeled off. As you can see, that is now properly heat transferred, and that should last a long time, even through multiple washes. Perfect. Thank you for watching this Sewing Machines UK video on the Brother ScanNCut. Yeah, really nice machine, had a lot of fun with it. There's still a lot more to see as well, and we'll be showing you some more in the future, making some new videos, some more videos, perhaps linking it to another sewing machine like the XP one. Please drop a like and a subscribe, because that really helps us out if you learned anything new today, and if you could teach us anything, drop it in the comments below. I always read those, so it'd be nice to hear from you all. Don't forget to check out our website at www.sewingmachinesuk.co.uk, and I'll see you in the next one.